Welcome back, everybody, to the Warlord of SBAS plays Torment, Tides of Numenera, episode 97. Last time we talked to the Murdens, the bird mutants, and got the mercenaries' flag back. And then we discovered a little bit more about the leader of this area, the Memvora. So now we're gonna go into this new area, because we can't go into the Memvora's area. So we'll do this first.
I'm making a note.
Scene of horror lies before you. The walls and floors turn against the inhabitants of this chamber, opening through the orifices to drag them down and devour them. Judging by the half-devoured wagons and other debris, this was a market of some kind, or a trade post. To your left across the room is a massive slumbering maw. Its mouth gates open and a portal shines within. Creepy. Let's see.
Yes.
Anything interesting left in here? Tongue cluster. This massive glands block the doorway. Fleshy ground is torn here, revealing a massive, glistening, bandless creatures. Huh. Something tells me these are going to attack me. No?
Yes.
Alright. Loot.
Now.
Tongue cluster? Wriggling massive tendrils rise from the ground. They remind you of the tongues that surround a maw rather than twisting around each other. They make wet, unpleasant sounds. As you draw near the cluster of tongues, the voice of the bloom begins to chitter and hiss in your ears. Listen. And completely untenable to you, if indeed they mean anything. Touch them. Chair carefully touch them to the cluster of squirming tendrils. When they touch your hand, they pass through it, and their prickly, hot, cold sensation runs up your arm. You notice the balloon's voice are much louder than you are touching the tongue, though. You can't understand them any better. I think if I... Where is it? Come on, where is it? Drink. Bloom juiced. And now touch them. As the writhe and squirm against each other. As before, the whispering bloom, blah blah. Touch them. Your hands pass through it with prickly, blah blah. With the water of the bloom coursing through your body, you can sense the difference between the voices here and ones you heard at the maw. This particular tongue cluster has roots that extend throughout the chamber, and it wishes to control the movements. Listen. Using bloody recorder, you'll have to make a... What? Okay, but what does it do? And it's vibration of the tongue. These roots that extend throughout the chamber, wriggling beneath the bloom flesh. Okay.
Something to do.
I don't know if that means anything or is important at all.
I'm ready. I'm always.
Loot? Any more loot? Alright, let's try this. Sweet. This did work. If an enemy is armored, change damage type, blah blah blah. Crystalline Vista. You emerge from the portal into an alien world. The air is thin and bitterly cold. The sun is a tiny white globe in the sky, casting dim light over the landscape of crystalline beauty. You see no sign of organic life, only glittering crystals in every direction. What? I would have given to see the nucleation of this world. It must have been amazing. I'm gonna assume that's like the birth.
Of course.
Huh. Interesting.
Don't mind if I do.
Do anything? Huh.
Don't mind if I do.
Don't see anything interesting in here. per se.
Action! Here I come!
Wonder.
Ready.
It's up here. Finally, a new fizz. Where'd you come from, stranger? This tall, weathered man nods to you. He holds himself stiffly as if something will crack if he moves too quickly. He glances at your tattoo and smiles. Hello, Castoff. I am Dorian, prophet of the changing god. It's been a while since we've seen anyone come through here. What's your business in the Ascension? Material, no, have you seen? I'll be honest. I'm looking for the circlet of dark healing material known as the magnetic amulet. Have you seen anything like that? He raises his eyebrow. Now that is an interesting business. Sadly, I cannot help you. We've seen nothing but pretty lights, to be honest. I think that's all there is to this place. What does it mean that you're prophet of the changing god? A title only, he says, bowing his head momentarily respect. The cultists of the changing god believe I have a special connection, because I found some well-hidden secrets of your father's once. He shrugs. Between you and me, I just got lucky. What secrets of the changing god did you find? Weighs it off modestly. Nothing that would interest you. An old workshop of his some trinkets. I didn't understand any of it, but the cultists were ecstatic. They drafted me as a prophet and confiscated everything. Well, he winked. Everything I didn't sell first. Fair compensation for my efforts, you know. Are you part of the cult of the changing god? Because I am the changing god. He narrows his eyes. Possible, I suppose, but highly unlikely. Perhaps your actions will prove you up, but I debate it. We are cultists of the changing god, yes, though I'm afraid we have little to do with your colleges and Scissors Cliffs. There is not a lot of oversight between our churches. What are you doing in the Ascension? Seeking, he says, steadied casual tone. We haven't in a good, though possibly outdated authority. This place holds more of your father's secrets. We've found nothing yet. However, until we do, we are enjoying the sights of this in the silence. The crystals and the lights. He shrugs. Our pursuits have taken us to less pleasant places. What can you tell me about this place? Very little, he says, blinking. There are crystals, there are lights. There is no one to talk to, and little value to find. It's a lovely world, but I fear we may be wasting our time here. You sure you can't tell me anything? Alright. Explorer, Accelerion, Explorer. Where you have Explorer names, but you have something else. Who are you? This tall little man has an unkempt shock of bright hair. His skin is ashen as if colored by the dust of old tombs. It's been a long time since he's seen a real sun. His smile is thin and twitching, and a demented light burns in his eyes. Another cast-off, he says with a sneer. Another echo. Who are you? Acceleron. Accelerion? Accelerion? I don't care. He says the name proudly as if you should have heard of him. I act. He falls silent, his eyes glowing with contempt. What do you mean, act? The prophet Dorian hears, he says, nodding at the man that's standing nearby. And depending on what he hears, I act. He eyes you, fingers curling at his side. So you do what Dorian says? No, he says sharply. I act on his words. Let it go. I don't really care. His eyes narrow the sides, then with a deep breath, he's all smiling arrogance once more. Can you tell me anything about the Ascension? I can't, but I won't. The Prophet Dorian will decide what you are allowed to know, Echo. What do you call me, Echo? The strong are those who act, he says, closing his eyes as if quoting from memory. They change the world, break the sky with their thunder. His eyes open dark and disdainful. And then there is the Echo, a weak imitation of the source. Fury, claiming to be more important than it is. Cast out far as echoes of him, and deserve none of his glory. I've heard of other cultists who worship the Echoes. Fools, all of them. The source is what matters. I've claimed no more importance than I deserve. He chuckles. It's always the same with you and your kind, he says, shaking his head. Stumbling around in your father's footprints, claiming to be noticed. He folds his narrow arms. Your father doesn't shout to be heard. He is, and that the world bends itself around him. I'm looking for this thingy. Shakes his head slowly, his eye never leaving yours. You think all cast off are echoes of the chain of God? What are you then? A man like me? Like him? A man of action. Alright, I don't care. Hey, Dorian, can you tell this idiot to do stuff? Oh, we're gonna kiss off? Dorian, no, it's not. Alright, you're not gonna do anything interesting.
Naturally.
You people are boring. I'm actually gonna go back to the area because there were some merchants that wanted to go to this area. I'm gonna tell them the area is open for them. That way they can leave. And maybe give me fat loot. Because I like loot. Woot, woot. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Let's go.
Your dormant times will not stop you from taking any paths. Dominant. But
Find him. Something to do.
this way. Run. Less kill stuff. Harumph. So much loading.
Yes. Now.
Let us go over here. Hey, merchants. I did undo that thing you wanted to do. Nothing. Hey, merchants. I found a back way into the trading post of the Mon Jurgen slump. Moths are unpredictable at best, and getting your wagon over to the slump without being robbed by Murdens seems a questionable prospect. Merchant glances at each other. We'll think on it. It's not the trade post we're interested in anyway. What if its door to the extension it was closed too? Sure, I know that area is open. Why can't I tell them to go there? Ugh. This game's rules about what is allowed is kind of annoying. No, I don't want to do that. Emperor's Orthfang has asked me to refrain. Oh, I did do that. Restore site will give me the more. Alright. There's two actual missions I totally forgot I was supposed to do. Oopsie. Alright. We'll do those real quick. Real quick like.
Find him. Something to do.
Finally, something to do. Yes! Hey, medical
I am
people.
the very soul of action.
I have an interesting job for you to do. Ah, friend, welcome back. Demiri wipes his nose and grabs his hand, pumpkin fiercely. Oh, you return. Hope something is wrong with you. Oh, by which I mean I hope that we get to treat you. By which I mean, of course, that you're fascinating. Just fascinating. Do you know any way to restore the sight to someone without eyes? Without eyes? Were they destroyed, or is his this inherited? Was this a creature that has no visual cortex? Who waves his hands? It makes no matter. I can restore sight to any living creature. He leans forward and taps your chest. Any. He restores the. We restore the blessing of sight, and with just a few minor side effects. Overarch is nodding and smiling, and prepares to offer a boost himself. But as he holds up his strange arm, his index finger in the air, he pauses and says quietly, "Do you mean restoring sight and retaining independent nervous autonomy? This is without scooping out portions of the brain." The subject should retain her faculties, yes.
Making a note.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. He paces in a very small circle. I knew only one procedure that meets the specific qualifications, that she retains all her faculties. I'm afraid it is a long, hard, expensive work. He glances at Oliver. Yeah, well, I should do it. But this cast off, we cannot pass up this opportunity. The half-man returns his partner's quick look. We require compensation worth more than coin. Perhaps if you could found us an interesting test subject for investigation, we could consider a fair trade. When I say perhaps, you and could, I actually mean that it would suffice. You see that Dr. Bleh is headed with this. He would make an excellent test subject. What qualifications do you need for an interesting test subject? All of our patients are unique in some way. We need someone outside the norm, someone who has some special aspect that no one else can offer. Someone nigh immortal, perhaps. Oh, yes, yes. We're always trying to expand our knowledge, advance the field of study too well. You get the point. We need someone who can help us develop art and understanding. Which is to say, someone new. Not someone who we've already enhanced. Expensive and time consuming. What about all the eyes your colleague has on his head? Did he undergo all those surgeries one by one? My friend, these eyes provide a valuable function for me. They are not simply baubles to be handed out as favors. They are affixed to me and provide certain insights. He bobs his head quickly and nervously, and as if to belay his words, one of them falls from his head. Blast! He adds hastily and scooping it up, retaching it. Very well, very well. You've caught us in a slight embellishment, as what one might expect. Or someone of of your mental caliber. He looks at his compatriot. Did I not tell you that our friend's intellect was something to be admired? I did. Maybe I'll see you. We don't necessarily need a subject, I suppose, but I did not embroider the truth entirely. This is an expensive item. To replace it will cost 280 shins. Now, I could pay the money. I have plenty of shins, that's not a problem. But, now hear me out here. What would happen if they experimented on me? What would happen? Would it be necessarily bad, or would it give me a boost in some way? You know what? You never know until you try. Would I qualify an interesting test subject?
Making a note.
His head starts bobbing up and down before you're finished speaking. Oh yes, so very much yes. We would be particularly interested in investing in the tattoo on your head. It seems reactive and strange. Yeah, let's go ahead. Screw it. She passed on your shoulder. It will be over before you know it. And think of the knowledge you'll gain. We have seen others with this kind of tattoo, and have tried to recruit some of them. Some have been less than willing, and we have had some unpleasant feedback loops from others. And I'm delighted to know that you came to us voluntarily. My side still aches from where that white death stabbed me. I thought she'd be more amendable. First order of business is an injection. Your consciousness swims into a dreamy half haze. Objects taken luminous rainbow tinted beauty. A sense of great satisfaction fills you. Wash flutters through your veins, even when blood leans over and with the scalpel begins to cut. You feel only slight tugging, and the bead of your blood stuck to the edge of his scalpel makes you want to weep for its transient beauty. Eventually, you drift into darkness. Scan thoughts. Now, what happens when I do this? Permanently lost one health pool. Maximum health pool is now blue. Whatever. A distant thunder summons you back to consciousness. Your eyes blink really open. You see Blizz's face peering into your own. It feels as though you have been torn apart, open. Your mind stripped and something undefinable snatched away. Is this a loss where it pervades your being? You are a model client, simply fantastic. I can also tell you with 90% certainty that almost all of your organs are back where they should be. He beams clearly proud of this work. Incidentally, you're completely impotent and will never be able to father any children. I hasten to add that you were like that, were like that when we started. Okay. Wasn't really planning on having children anyway, so whatever. My good colleague has forgotten to tell you. Well, but you may experience dizziness, nausea, some bleeding for a short time. Nothing to be concerned with. He clears his throat. We've uncovered some interesting facts about your tattoo if you'd like to hear them. Short time, long time. You'll find out, I suppose. What kind of facts? The tattoo is not really a tattoo. It's more like an amorphous gateway, a skein of living tissue that reacts to specific psychic vibrations. If I'm not mistaken, a especially skilled individual might even be able to use this skein as an entry into your mind itself. Ha! Who's to say that there might not be someone there already? Oh, there's plenty of people in there. He courses through his curses, though his words sound more like someone who has never learned the hang of business. We should have checked out for that while we were in there. He turns to you. Perhaps you'd let us go back and check for visions? Any visions, spectral voices, or hallucinations? Gratefully, my friend, our client has fulfilled his part of the bargain. Furthermore, opening him up again would probably kill him, even despite the remarkable regenerative ability he had. Evidence, I don't know. He looks at you, clearly expecting you to leave. So what are the next steps to restoring the sight to my blind acquaintance?
Making a note.
What? Oh, yes, my apologies. Trying to get out of the deal. He reached up to to the profusion of eyes on his head, and selects one seemingly at random. With a grimace, he works it free from his head, and then his scarred flesh flows around and fills a hole where it resided. Simply place this on the eye on the recipient's face, and it will do the rest of work easy. Alright. Neat. I could have done it to myself, but nah. Alright, I'm gonna do this first and then come back for this guy. Because honestly, I don't really care about whatever his name was. Iridan or something. Whiny bitch. Tattooed person.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Beep, beep, beep. Deep, 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 deep. Failing steps can lead to more interesting results. That is true.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Hey. Faceless. Her head tilts at your footsteps and her lips smack and she's sits there. Why do you return? What have you brought to poor Skora? He returns. Few have done so. Many know. No, best not to get my hopes up. I have an eye for you. Press Albert's eye into her face. Sweet sight returns. I welcome it. Friend, the eye begins to burn into her flesh, extruding small legs that heat and twist as they burrow deep into her meat and bone of her head. She claps her hands over the eye, instinctively grabbing at the face's device, and you recognize the titanic act of will it takes for her to let the eye do its work. And her trust in you must be great, or her need for vision desperate. So much pain, yet nothing compared to how I lost them. Did he speak true? After what seems like an eternity of her screams and moans, blood pulls her hands from her disfigured face. She tilts her head up at you, and her mouth stretches into an involuntary smile of pure joy. You lay your hand in front of her face, and her eye tracks it naturally, cleanly. She throws her arms around you, sobbing with her release and happiness. I see the light, the shadows, the bloom. Never has the meat hell looked so wonderful. At last, she collects herself, wiping away the stream of tears that poured out from the single eye. She looks in amazement at the moisture in her hands and mutters, "Has rebuilt the entire structure. Amazing. More investigation required." Then she glances up at you and thrusts the jar into your hands. Here, more trouble than it was worth. She turns away, gasping in delight. Every newly revealed sight.
I'll remember that.
Sweet. What does the jar do? It's a mission item. Interesting. Made from blood-battered metal, this bar, blah blah blah, and winds, dangerous nails, spirits that warp the transform any matter that they touch. Interesting. Ooh. It's really I'm way overbooked for these. I need to get rid of some. I'll need to find a store that I can sell these to. Where was the store? I can't remember.
I'm going.
Rumph. Alright. Well, this ends in this episode. Next time we're gonna do the Elegurns or whatever his name's side mission. And we're gonna find a store. I think these guys will work. Get rid of my extra whatever they are. Ciphers, sorry. Forgot the word. Anyway, so until next time, remember, brace the chaos so you go mad. Bye.